this.
Okay.
But there's a rumor that there's this intimidating toothbrush that's been terrorizing
Listen.
people. And so,
Listen, Linda.
Have you been ran out of your
honey,
home?
listen.
Have you been ran out of your home because of an electric toothbrush or something?
I really did think I was praying over my family. I was praying that we would not have a bomb go off in our home. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
No.
I don't even know.
Do you want me to tell you guys what happened?
I'm afraid to hear this.
I'm afraid.
So it was a Monday morning a week ago, and I sleep really hard on Sunday nights because Sunday's a really, really big day for ministry, for worship leading and stuff. And so like I was out and I was awoken from a dead sleep by a terrible noise. And it sounded
Sounds like a Christmas story.
That's what I was thinking.
And what was a clatter?
Listen, it sounded like someone was sawing through my wall and there was water, like a waterfall. And I called Justin, I put it on speakerphone and I said, babe, this is not good. Like something really, really bad has happened. He's like, I'm just now pulling into the plant. And I'm like, it's really bad. And he goes, okay, I'm pulling away from the plant. and he came home and for 25 minutes, that's how long it takes him. I prayed and I called him again. I said, do I need to take the kids for safety? I got the dogs out of our room because I thought that my room was going to blow up and we were all going to die. I was really, really scared. And he came home and he
what was it, Lindsay? What was it?
He opens the shower door and he said, babe, looks like my toothbrush fell off the ledge and somehow got turned on. Turned the toothbrush off. And we were saved. My hero.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm a little bit shocked. So, can I speak on behalf of the audience?
Please.
Here's what everybody, y'all feel free to chime in and tell everybody that you're agreeing with me here.
Yes.
So I learned a lot about you already. So here's the question.
Okay.
You know, there are on this planet, when something happens, there are a million possibilities.
Yes.
You went straight to the house is going to blow up.
I went straight to the Lord in prayer.
Well, that
for
was
my
after,
house.
after your house is going to blow up. I mean, why couldn't it have been that there is a mole who is bore into your house?
Listen, when I was like in
How about,
when I was in middle school, our water
It was
heater
an Al-Qaeda
exploded.
mole. It was
okay?
going to blow up, okay?
Our water heater exploded when I was in middle school.
Well,
in the bathroom right next to my.
Not only do I get a lot out of your sense of humor and just the way, just how kind and open you are, but also just the way you get into things is, for someone like me, it's great to be around because it's shown me a brand new way to be able to live. So I can't possibly say enough good things about you except that I love you.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life. I'm so grateful that God has brought you into my life. As much as you have poured out, I still feel like you are this pool of wisdom that we've yet only had sips of.
The big overarching takeaway for me that I appreciate is you're the real deal, right? You're the genuine article, and you live what you talk about. You don't just say you can do this, you can do that. You actually run and operate and live in that lifestyle business, not just talk about it as a theory.
I'll speak for me for a moment. In my life, oftentimes, I go in and I push that button, and I push it gingerly in the hopes that I can get one of the rings to go up and hit the hook. And whenever it's your turn to talk, you kind of say, Case, move over for a second and take that button and jam it and hit it 19 times to get every ring flying in the air. And that's kind of the feeling that I have whenever you talk. It's like, wait a minute, let's shake this up a little bit. Let's shake the snow globe and see what happens. Like right now, Terry, I am so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes to go back and do about 400 things, of which I might have done one prior to you talking, but you got me so jazzed up to go in there and accomplish something because, often we need people like that, with agitators, somebody to come in and agitate things and say, hey, look, you can do a lot more than you're doing. Look at me. And Terry, I've always liked looking at you, and I'm hopeful that I can be more like you going forward, so thank you for everything.
I'm still blown away by your story. It's incredible. And so it's just so inspiring. And so, I mean, I feel like you embody that. Like when I think about you, it's hard to separate you from that incredible story that you have. And so it's such a gift to us to get to just be in the presence of someone who has that story and who has come as far as you have. And with that, the second word was experience, because with that, you just bring so much experience. There's so much value in what you say. Amazing coach. So like just vast experience. I feel like you're able to speak into so many of our lives in so many different situations. And it's always like on point and helpful and thoughtful. And then the third was humble, because I feel like you do all of that with so much humility. Like I feel like you don't pat yourself on the back a lot, or, say, oh, I'm this great person. It's kind of hidden behind this, oh, I've just got a little comment here for you, filled with all of this value.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid. Your original story of how you built the piano business and how the market of 2007, 2008, that crash, and how you came back and you built something that is what it is today. And yet here you are.
Hey, Terry. Well, I think today has just demoed exactly the brilliance that you share. The humor, it's guaranteed that every time that Terry's got the mic, there's going to be laughter amongst the group. And I'll extend that into honoring your skills as an interviewer and as a podcast, because I had jumped on a few months ago because I hadn't listened to your podcast, and content can draw us in, but the people who leave the conversation and the skill behind that, I was pleasantly surprised and impressed, and I've kept you in my circle because of that. So I think the lens in which you see the world is so amazingly beautiful. I love that you're real. You talk sports, you talk music, you talk the things that come to our heartbeat of being a part of this country. And it draws people in, and I'm one of those individuals. And I also think you're genuinely gentle, sincere, and you're like, a cousin or an uncle that, I just want to hang out with more and more each time. So you light us up, and that's not something easy to do week in and week out, in just the waves of our own lengths and the commitments that we have in our circles. So I am grateful for all that you bring to us and all that you've shared with us, and definitely the laughter as well. So
what's up, Fire Nation? Another bonus episode coming your way. This one was a great chat. I had a lot of fun with Terry Wilson. Terry is a serial entrepreneur who offers entrepreneurs and solopreneurs the tools, training, and technology needed to earn and enjoy more. For the past 13 years, he's helped thousands of hungry individuals discover their thing, develop the skills to do it, and be given a strategy to deliver it to market and produce value. Terry has a weekly podcast that can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher, and at terrywilson3.com. He also wrote a book called You Are Worth More, which you can check out at youareworthmorebook.com. We have a lot of fun in this episode, Fire Nation. I truly hope you enjoy. It's hard. It is hard work to achieve uncommon success. But you know what else is hard, Terry? Being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it and I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your hard.
Choose your hard. Boy, I love that. Because there's a high cost of low living. And sometimes we think that, we're just going to get out of this easy by taking the path of least resistance. And boy, sometimes the end of that path is just a tiger. I'm telling you, brother.
Identify your big idea. Not be a weak, pale imitation of somebody else's big idea, which most people do. They're like, oh, look at what Terry's doing. He's so successful. Look what John's doing. I'll just copy them. And then you wonder why you fail, because you're a weak, pale imitation of those people and you will never win as a result. You need to come up with your big idea your zone of fire and wake up every day on fire, living that life. That is the life that you deserve. Because what at the end of the day do we really want? Freedom. The ability to wake up and do what we want, where we want to do it, with whom we want to do it with. If you have those three things, what more is there in life? And you can give yourself that gift. Just take it.
Which is identifying, why are you here? You know, I like to say it this way. You're not a cosmic accident. You didn't show up on planet Earth because lightning struck a mud puddle billions of years later and you crawled out. You're a significant person with a significant reason for being here. There's a reason for you to be here. And once you identify that big idea, as John just said it, life becomes, oh my gosh, becomes unimaginable. Give us go ahead.
Just on that point real quick. I mean, I think it's so key for people to understand this, like what Terry is just sharing. There is so much wisdom out there in this world, but there's also so much noise and it's chaotic. And sometimes it's so hard to really cut through all of this and to really get to the meat and potatoes, to really get down to what matters.
Does anyone know Terry's story, what Terry did?
I do.
So Terry sold musical instruments, sold pianos, right? And what was it? Was it 9/11 that created the problem?
Yeah.
9/11 creates a problem. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in town anymore. It's a brick and mortar store. Some woman comes up to him in church, some older woman, and she's like, I was thinking about your problem, and the Lord told me you should sell them on the computer. Sell your pianos on the computer. And Terry's like, that's a great idea. I got to get out of here because you're crazy. So, of course, he does it in that sweet way where he says, oh, bless your heart. And
bless your heart.
He thinks about it. And then he's like, you know, he told me about the story about, you know, the guy, it's a flood and, you know, you should get out. No, the Lord's going to save me. And at the end, he goes to God and says, why didn't you save me? He's like, I did. You know, I tried. I sent you the news report. I sent you a helicopter. You know. So Terry takes that and he's like, God's telling me what to do here, right? So I should do. That was the message. I should sell these things online. His first thought when the woman tells him that is, how am I gonna, because she said her grandson sold CDs.
On eBay.
Terry's like, how am I, you could just put them, I can't put a stamp on a piano. This is crazy.
Drop it in the mailbox.
Yeah, so next day, right? The next day he starts selling, sells them out in a week. So he doesn't think about, he doesn't latch on to his idea of I can't ship these things cheaply, right? He just goes past that. He goes, well, what's my first solution? My first solution is I got to sell these things. That's all he's thinking about. He sells out his whole inventory in a week. Then the problem comes to him. How do I get rid of these things? I've now sold them. How do I deliver them? So what would you guys have done?
Hire a U-Haul and drive them out there.
Yeah, that's what Terry did. Terry got a truck and just was like, well, I'm gonna take my brother-in-law. We're gonna go around the country. We're going everywhere. And he delivered pianos for 2 weeks. That's amazing. And then, you know, then he's like, oh, and the next thing is I talk to someone and he goes and he talks to the manufacturer and he's like, so, you know, where are these things? You know, if I want to get them, how do I sell them? And he doesn't go into the conversation with the idea of, I'm going to figure out how to make this more efficient for myself. Or maybe he does to a degree, but he doesn't make that his outward appearance. He's not desperate. He's desperate, but he doesn't portray desperation. He portrays, as he's talking to the person, he's asking them questions about their business, and they give him the keys to the kingdom. They tell him the whole layout. They tell him exactly how to run his business. Now, in Watergate, did you ever hear, like in the first week after Watergate, Woodward and Bernstein spoke to a Spanish guy down in Mexico, and the joke was, he told us exactly what happened, but we don't speak Spanish, so we lost the story. It turns out that was true. They got the whole thing in the first week, but didn't understand it. Terry got the whole thing in the first week and put it together. He hears, you have warehouses all over the country, so why don't I sell them and then you guys will just deliver them locally? He gets that in an instant. He doesn't think about the problem. He doesn't think they're not going to do it, any of this stuff. When I hear about Terry selling them and he just gets in a truck, my first thought with that is,
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com.
Decade of helping others
discover, develop, and monetize your skills and talents at TerryWilson3.com.
This is the Terry Wilson. Really, I'm excited, Terry. I want to get started.
You're the real deal, right? You're the genuine article.
Right now, Terry, I'm so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes to go back and do about 400 things. You got me so jazzed up.
I'm still blown away by your story.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid.
You're like a cousin or an uncle that I just want to hang out with.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life.
Can't possibly say enough good things about your acceptance that I love you.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
Thank you, Christopher B. This is Terry Wilson, and you are listening to TerryWilson3.com. How would you like to optimize your business and its health? Well, you are in luck. Tonight, we have our resident wellness and health expert in the studio with us, TW3Radio.com's own Valerie Williams. So in segment 2, Valerie will be offering an incredible training on the 3 optimizations in business wellness you can do right now.
We also want to let you know that the time is now. If you've been thinking about coming to this year's conference, then now's the time. Say it 2 ways differently. You know,
Yeah, I like that. I like it.
Same thing, different. Same. Next week on Tuesday, September 7th, we'll have our 4th annual You Are Worth More conference in Greenville, South Carolina. Tickets are available at TerryWilson3.com right now. Also very important, if you own tickets and have purchased the lunch packages, please confirm you're attending by clicking on the link in the email you were sent last week. If you didn't receive that email, you can go to TerryWilson3.com /contact so we can resend that to you.
We also want to remind everybody
Easy for you to say.
Little tongue twister. We also want to remind everybody that's attending, you will be receiving the beta version of the new TW3 app that is scheduled to release this fall. Make sure you're at the check-in on Tuesday at noon to register and check in. That way you'll be able to get the app the following day.
And get ready for next Monday night's training. Episode 482 is going to be the first time. It is going to be a first-time type of show in 13 years here at TW3. What?
And
can y'all not read?
This is the proof version.
This is the proof. This is me proofing it.
The first part was good. Like the first proof you had, this one.
You didn't like the way I
maybe it's just the way I'm reading it. But
I got you.
Yeah, next Monday we're going to be doing a new type of show for the first time in 13 years. So we'd really like you guys to tune in. We will have in the studio physically our entire TW3Radio.com personalities with us to kick off the week of the conference. We will have Gary Green, Lori Brown, Chris Miller, Bobby Christie, and our very own Valerie.
Valerie is going to be here again next week. Valerie, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Terry. Ready to rock and roll. About our topic tonight.
I love it. I love it. Going to be talking health, and that's exciting. We're all getting in better health ourselves here. Reagan's running again. Mm-hmm. River is looking at his I watch and
could have just said I was running also.
And running, checking his measurements and running accordingly. And I went in and Valerie, you'll appreciate this. You know, I've been on my health journey since last October, and all of my measurements looking good. Weight's down, blood pressure's down, resting heart rate down, all this. But one thing, and it's still below average. And I'm like, what is going on? It was my VO2 measurement.
That takes time.
Yeah.
That'll build up though.
Yeah. And I was just like, well, you know, you see all this other stuff above average, because I'm doing, you know, I'm really trying to do better.
Now, for people like me, what does VO2 mean?
Valerie, what does VO2 mean?
Good question. You tell me what VO2 is on the weight side.
Well, it's basically your oxygen. VO2. Yeah, your oxygen in your blood, and of course, in the backdrop of all the stuff that's going on in the world, that's one thing I want to make sure my oxygen level is good.
It's like when you're working out that lung capacity. What's your max? How much carbon are you processing? How efficient is your body into putting your oxygen into the blood without wasting it or without feeling like you're suffocating?
Right.
And so the better your VO2 max, the higher it is. The more likely you are to sort of be able to breathe and kind of talk during your exercises and stuff, or it takes more effort for you to.
Well, see, there you go. And I, for the first time, I can have my heart rate, honestly, at 135, 140 and sit here and talk to you.
Yep.
And I never could be able to. Matter of fact, your mom used to laugh. We'd go hiking, and my heart rate would be up, and she'd be asking me questions. Don't talk to me right now. She's like, "Why are you so ill?" I said, "I can't breathe."
Well, that other thing too is the more effort you put into something, it's going to kind of turn around to where like your heart rate's not going to get as high as quickly. You have to do more.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm at now. I'm having to keep the incline at 15 just about, and a minimum of 3.0 on the treadmill just to get it up.
Yeah.
To where it's actually doing something as far as caloric burn. But I went.
Yeah, and you just want to stay consistent with it, Terry, because then you'll start to hit an area where you start to peak where you are. And then that is kind of like the indicator where you're going to have to press a little bit more. When you start getting to that peak area and you're just leveling off, that's going to be your sign that, okay, I'm ready for the next little inch that you're going to have to break through into. But just stay consistent.
Yeah. Well, that's it does seem like it's so amazing. And I know I've said this before, but I'm just amazed by it. I've always been a business person. I understand the context of business. I understand the dynamics, the nuances, the ebb and flow of the emotional highs and emotional lows and all of that. But it is amazing to me how parallel health is to business. You know, and the same mindset to break through a plateau.
Let's say it's a lot of mindset.
It is so amazing to me.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to find out it's more than mindset in this training.
I love it. I love it. I can't.
I'm about to mess everybody up now. It's not only mindset.
Well, I love it. I love it because, you know, your biology affects your psychology, doesn't it?
There you go.
And your psychology is going to have a direct effect on the experience you have in life, how you're communicating and being understood and understanding other people, your clients, your staff. It's all interconnected. It really is. And so what a fun topic, you know, and I'm so thankful that you're offering this to us tonight, Valerie. I look forward to it because I know it's going to be something that everyone on here, I don't care where you're at in your health journey, be intentional with your health. I mean, if 2020 and 2021 hasn't done anything, it should have sort of rung a bell for all of us. Say, hey, let's be intentional in thinking about our health, because at the end of the day, your bank account can be full, but if your health is low, what good is it? I was listening to a sermon today on the way back from the gym, and the guy was talking. He says, you know, a lot of people spend a large part of their health to amass wealth, and then once they have all the wealth, they spend a lot of their wealth to get back their health.
It's true though. Yeah, it's totally true.
So I say let's do it both at the same time. Let's be smart with our health, and as our health goes, let's be smart in business and experience all those other things as well. So that's going to be a great training coming up in segment 2. In segment 3, we've got your questions that came in through email this past week. And so we'll be getting to that. And then in segment 4, we're going to be talking again with Valerie and asking her some questions and talking about our latest weekend trip down in Georgia and that experience and just having a little fun there. Do want to encourage you just to reiterate what Reagan was already saying. If you've wanted to do more in your professional and personal life, I strongly recommend the conference. It's the best thing we do at TW3. And ironically, it's the thing that I enjoy the least. Not because I love being around the people. It's the organization of it. It's getting it all together. It's all of that. It's just so out of my comfort zone.
If nothing else entices you to come to the conference, just know I'll be there.
Yeah, well, exactly. River's going to be there.
I'm the selling point.
That's right. River's going to be there. Reagan, unfortunately, we have to have him. No,
I can stay in the corners. It's okay.
Hey, Valerie's going to be there.
Yeah, Valerie will be there.
And you got to be there just to see Valerie, if nothing else. So, but no, you want to be there. Once it's all done, once it's all done and you're in it, I love it. It's just the build up to it and all
Preparing for it's a little different.
preparing for me. It's just like, oh,
It's sort of like health. The hardest part is starting.
yeah, it's true. Thank you, River. Thank you. You're preaching my sermon.
That's
over
right.
I love it.
And maintaining.
And maintaining. That's right. And staying consistent. That routine. You know, the routine to riches is what we're all about. So when we get back after this, we're going to go right into Valerie's training. You want to stay tuned to this. I'm telling you, it's the 3 optimizations you can do right now in business to make your business healthy and well when we get back right after this. Earners are learners and leaders are readers. If you want to go to the next level, you do have to grow to the next level. And that's why I offer free audiobooks at terrywilson3.com/free book. That's terrywilson3.com/free book. When you go over there, you're going to get to try the service out for 30 days free. No obligation. And you get a free audiobook just for checking it out at terrywilson3.com/free book.
He could do it. If he could do it.
This isn't a movie.
He believed in himself. And you can too.
Oh man, you're gonna put it on me like that?
You can do anything that you want. You can get singing lessons, get a better job, make more money. You could be even like rich. You could live in the White House someday. You could be president.
Me?
Do what you want to do. It's not up to other people.
It's true.
It's up to you.
Hey, this is Terry with TerryWilson3.com. I want to invite you to our conference that's coming up just in a couple weeks, September the 7th through the 9th in Greenville, South Carolina. We're having our 4th annual You Are Worth More conference. You know, it's been my experience that it doesn't require high intelligence. It doesn't require supernatural talent or ability. It doesn't require a lot of the things that you and I continue to tell ourselves to give ourselves reason and rationale why we can't experience all the things that we want to, and the things that we want to enjoy, the things that we want to earn, the things that we want to go to. There's so many times you and I will say, well, it's because of this or this. No, let me tell you what it is. It's simply being in a community of people that reinforce a belief that you've got to have in yourself, which is you're worth more. You can do far greater than you ever thought, dreamed, or imagined if you'll just allow the greatness that was breathed on the inside of you manifest out. And I know that sounds like a bunch of hocus pocus, maybe even religious overtones and stuff like that. And trust me, there's a deep psychological reason why you have to believe in yourself, and you have to grab a hold of that thing that wants, or that person, in my personal faith, that wants to grab a hold of you. So I want to invite you to our conference because not only do we give you some sound psychological and, in my opinion, sound theological rationale and reason that you can go to levels that you never thought, dreamed was imaginable. But not only are we going to give you that, but you're going to be in a community of people that are going to show you and give illustration and provide you the very tools, training, and technology that no matter what business you want to be in, or what ministry you want to be in, no matter what calling is on your life, they're going to show you how to take what's on the inside of you and get it to a marketplace on the outside to where you can have your best life doing what you were called to do. That's what this conference is all about. It's based on my book, You Are Worth More, that you can get at Amazon or at my website, terrywilson3.com. But I want to tell you, there's just something magical that happens. There's something that's just really spiritual that happens when entrepreneurs and people that have decided that they're going to go to the next level, that they've been created by, from, and for the purposes of greatness, and they're not going to allow, human rationale and their own inner thoughts and inner junk talk them out of the greatness that is their destiny. There's something magical when they get together in a room together and they start studying together and they start networking together. And how are you doing this? What are you doing this? I'm telling you, you got to be there. It's so affordable. We're not pricing this thing to make money. We're just pricing it to pay the bills. It's $150 for a 2.5-day conference of some of the highest earning, highest achieving, highest entrepreneurs that you're going to find right here in Greenville, South Carolina. If you want tickets, they're still available, but they're going fast. Go to terrywilson3.com right now and get your tickets to the You Are Worth More conference coming up September 7th through the 9th.
Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with River Wilson.
We're back. Now let's get into Valerie's training tonight on 3 optimizations for business wellness.
Hey everyone, it's Valerie Williams coming with tonight's training, as Terry has mentioned. And tonight I want to discuss 3 optimizations in business wellness and how it is really all about communication. So let's dive right on in. Did you know that you're a brainiac? You know, as entrepreneurs, we focus a lot on mindset and mind matters, but we often don't realize that we have a total of 3 brains. Yes, you heard me correctly. We have a total of 3 brains. So as a result of failing to realize these 2 additional brains, we lack that knowledge and those additional brains are neglected. So what are these 3 brains? They're the gut, of course, our brain that we all know, but also our heart. So as I mentioned, because we're not aware of these 2 additional areas of our body that are considered brains and how they work in conjunction with one another, we lack that knowledge and the understanding of how to keep our 3 brains in alignment, communicating with one another at peak performance, and simply maximum optimization. You know, it really does begin with you. It really does begin with me. Everything starts and begins with us, begins with you. We have heard some of the sayings about the mind. There's so much content now about the mind. You know, there's even one author that I'm aware of by the name of Joyce Myers, who has a book called The Battlefield of the Mind. But, you know, we've heard the phrases out there. If you can win the battle in your mind, you can win anything in life. We've heard about trust your gut, or go with your gut, or my heart's not in the right place, or you're breaking my heart, or my heart simply just isn't in it. But what about our gut and our heart in conjunction with our mind? Now, is your body talking to you? You know, we heard Lori come a couple of weeks ago and talk about, you know, what to say to yourself. You know, but what is your body saying to you? What is your body talking to you about? If you're not feeling well or at your best in any area of your body, then your business can be impacted as well as the rest of the areas of your life. No one can take better care of you than you. Think about how many times your body has been trying to speak to you and has said, I don't feel like myself, or maybe I just don't feel right. Or maybe your body has to yell at you and tell you, you need to slow down, or you need to simply stop. You know, these are all signs and signals that we really have to pay attention to, and not when it's just too late. You know, anxiety, stress, and depression are at an all-time high, not just in the US alone, but in the entire world, especially with COVID. You know, it's slowed down now, but now it's picking up in some key areas. Even the World Health Organization has determined these categories of anxiety, stress, and depression as the leading cause of health burden around the entire world. These high stress levels lead to high ranges of additional problems. And everything from feeling this depression, the anxiety, even brain fog, burnout, are all those ways of feeling not just quite right. Psychology today stated stress has direct effects on mood, irritability, sleep disruption, cognitive changes, such as impaired concentration. So there's no longer the definition as the brain problem, as the brain housing our minds, will, and emotions. It's now defined as a mind-gut problem. So to get a handle on these issues and feel better, the gut and the brain and the axis in between has to be looked at. I'm going to say that again. To get a handle on these issues and to feel better, the gut and the brain and the axis in between the two of them have to be looked at. So what happens is this creates a fundamental shift in how we're looking at feeling better. And the solution is to rebalance that whole gut-brain axis, which we are going to discuss later on in this training. But for now, let's take a look at one of our brains, the gut. Increased good bacteria into the gut is a targeted way to lead to meaningful improvements to mental wellness. And one source is natural supplements, which is a very holistic approach. Our three brains, the gut, which is our sensing brain, our mind, thinking brain, and our heart, which we call the feeling brain, determine our emotions and are the most powerful tools in optimizing our overall mental wellness. Think of your gut as the intuition and the instinct resource. The head is the logical and the analytical source. And finally, that heart as the emotional, passionate, artistic approach to our well-being. So when the three of those are in sync, our three brains, this is going to balance our overall mental wellness. The brain, such a powerful and such a wonderful thing. If we have a brain injury, just think about how that impacts the rest of the organs in our body. Our body can't survive without that brain, but the brain is so connected to other major organs of our body. So that brain, the mind, that thinking brain that is logical, it's analytical, it's rational, it's theoretical. The other responsibilities of the brain, it holds our memory, our cognition, our recall, creativity, clarity. The targeting of the brain and focusing on improving mental focus is a key. Improving overall brain activation and using certain nutrients. As we age, the brain will lose its ability to function. Our cognition goes down, our brain performance goes down, but with specific nutrients and ingredients, the speed of our memory recall is like getting back 12 years of brain aging. That's huge. Helping your brain to de-age. It's a fountain of youth in certain respects because of specific nutrients and proprietary blends that can and must be used. A clarity of mental focus. When you're sharper, your brain fog lifts. Your brain can perform at a higher level. The parts of the brain that are associated with the memory and recall, and even with stress resilience, needs to be lit in different ways so that our brain is being fine-tuned and optimized to do exactly what it's supposed to do, which is to be that supercomputer within your head. I've got a gut feeling and it's not good. We've all had this stance or been in this position where we've had our gut was just not up to par. So let's talk a little bit more and shift a bit now and talk about that second brain, which is our gut. It's that sensing brain. It's reactive, visceral, intuitive, instinctual. But what are some other things that we know about our stomach? We all are aware of the three functions of our stomach, to temporarily store food, which passes from the esophagus to the stomach, which is then held 2 hours or longer. It mixes and it breaks down our food by contracting and relaxation of those muscle layers that are in our stomach. And then finally, the digestion of food. But the main function of the stomach is to chemically and mechanically break down food. And it accomplishes this by secreting the stomach acid and the enzymes to digest food and churning the food by the periodic contraction of the stomach muscles. Our gut is so complex, and its health has been linked to so many of autoimmune issues, mental health issues, cancers, skin conditions, the autoimmune diseases, mood, so much more. At one point, doctors and researchers viewed the gut as a simple system where your food was just passed through nutrients, absorbed, and then waste, and then excretion. But now they are knowing that the gut is so much more. When we think about additional stomach disturbances such as bloating, diarrhea, gas, constipation, those changes in weight that are intentional. If you gain or you're losing weight without even trying it, or you may indicate that something is amiss in your gut. For example, if you have an imbalance in your gut, it may impact how you store your fat, regulate blood sugar, and absorb nutrients. If you're constantly feeling fatigued or you don't get enough good quality sleep, you got to look at your gut. For example, most of our serotonin, which helps us to sleep, is a hormone affecting sleep and mood, but it's actually made in our gut. If you're experiencing any type of skin issues like eczema, it could be due to inflammation in your gut caused by food allergies, intolerance to certain foods, or just a lack of poor diet. An unhealthy gut can cause systemic inflammation, which is thought to be the underlying factor, again, in many autoimmune diseases. Now, let's shift a little bit and talk about the communication between our three brains, which is the infamous, the axis, and what we call the axis. When we define the axis, again, it's the communication network, which is going to house our biochemicals, our cells, our nerves, and together all three brains significantly modulate over all our mental wellness. We've talked about the brain and the gut, which are our first two brains, and, the third brain is our heart. But if all of these brains send signals to and from one another, that helps with the whole coordination and coordination of signals. Now, we'll be discussing the heart, our third brain, shortly, but I want to talk more about these coordinated signals because together, all three brains significantly help to modulate our overall mental wellness. And when these signals are coordinated and they're optimized, the signals between all three of our brains, wellness is improved. So the gut-brain axis, let's talk about that communication between our gut and then our brain. So the first axis is between your first brain, which is your head, and the second brain, which is your gut. Now, we established that the axis is a network of communication devices that house our nerves, but they're the nerves or the wires that connect our first brain with our second brain. And there are chemical messengers like hormones, neurotransmitters that are produced in the first brain and are also produced in the second brain. They travel through the bloodstream, and then it travels through your systemic circulation so that each organ actually knows what the other organ is actually doing. Now, then we have what we call our cellular communication, which is throughout the whole immune system. So the immune system really needs to be optimized and primed in a particular way so that the guts and the microbiome in the gut knows what's happening in the brain and vice versa. Now, when we're talking about the microbiome in the gut, we're really looking at, the digestion, controlling digestion and the major key factors, benefits of the immune system, and many other aspects of our health. So an imbalance of unhealthy and healthy microbes in the intestines, they can contribute to what we call the weight gain, the high blood pressure, the disorders, the high cholesterol, and the list goes on. So that multi-communication network really has to be optimized. So further on, as we talk about the gut-brain axis, think about your cell phone. Now, if you only have one bar on your cell phone, you're not going to have good communication. But if you have full bars, 4 or 5 bars, you're going to have quick, direct, immediate communication. So therefore, improving all of that together improves the signal ability of the gut-brain axis so that your nerves are optimized to send those signals, your immune system is optimized to read what's happening throughout your body and to send those signals appropriately. So all our systems need to be optimized, such as our hormone, circulatory, as well as our nervous systems. The third brain is the infamous heart, our passionate heart. And as I mentioned, all of these systems have to be optimized. They need to be matched to each other so that that vital communication can be made. And that's exactly what we want. So optimizing the communication and the function between the brain and the gut axis, which is your first and your second brain. But if they cannot communicate optimally between one another, then that is going to contribute to us not feeling at our best. So think about the next time that you're not feeling your best. Think about, okay, what's going on with my 3 brains? What's off? Where is the communication breakdown between my 3 brains? When we look at the heart, which we said is so passionate, it's so visionary, it's artistic, it's emotional, it's that feeling brain. Improving the efficiency of the heart, we can improve the efficiency of the mind. It's connecting what we feel with what we know. It's called the heart-brain axis. Now, this is the second axis. It's the phenomenon of your heart sending signals to your brain that determines how your brain is actually going to function. So the heart is the body's third brain, and it contains approximately 40,000 concentrated neurons that can sense, feel, learn, as well as remember. And it sends a variety of signals through the entire body, predominantly to the brain. And as these signals are received by the brain will interpret those signals as a good mood or a bad mood. So high energy or low energy, good mental focus or brain fog. Just like we want to improve the gut-brain axis, we also want to improve that heart-brain axis to again achieve that end goal of improved mental wellness and optimization. We've known this to be true for a long time, but think about some of the vocabulary. We talked about some of the vocabulary earlier on in this training. But remember, we've heard you have such a big heart, or follow your heart, or my heart is totally broken. We have words that describe this brain. Our heart can actually determine what our emotions are. Now, emerging clinical research is showing us that people with heart problems tend to have more mental wellness problems and vice versa. People with mental wellness problems tend to have more heart problems. Now, this can be spinned 180 degrees. Instead of thinking of heart and mental wellness issues, this is switched by using the same principle to optimize the effects of the heart on the brain and the brain and the heart. And this means that vigor is going to go up drastically. So clinical research is showing very clearly that if we can improve heart function, cardiac efficiency, mental performance can also be improved in some of these very major significant ways. Now, energy goes up, mood goes up, psychological vigor also improves drastically. That's a combination of physical energy, mental acuity, emotional wellness being all wrapped up in one, called mental fitness. Now, if you can get your heart to work better, you can get your brain to perform better. If you can get your brain to perform better, your entire body functions better. And as the result of the heart being a better organ, you will get mental wellness benefits. Your brain will work better. Your energy level will also even be higher. So the brain performance will lead to better physical performance. In continued clinical studies with athletes, runners, they could achieve the same result on a treadmill at a lower heart rate. So you could run the same speed at your heart rate of 10%, but do it lower, which means that you're able to do the same amount of achievement with a lower level of strain across your entire cardiovascular system. Now, here is just a visual picture of that heart-brain axis. We've discussed this earlier, so I'm not going to, just for the sake of time of this training, I'm not going to repeat it, but just to kind of give you a visual of that whole heart-brain axis. Now, if you can coordinate the signals between the three brains, you can improve your mental wellness, as we have seen throughout this training. But gut integrity signaling across your axis, the neurotransmitters in your brain will improve your mental wellness as well. But there's a further balancing effect to the heart. And with the heart now, there can be improvement with other axes, the heart-brain axis. And in doing so, your mental wellness can be brought to higher levels, more optimization to get a greater level of mental fitness. Now, the whole goal of this training, and if you don't get anything out of this training today, is that you have three brains, your mind, your heart, and your gut. And you want your mind, your gut, and your heart, your three brains, to be in communication with one another. And when they're not, that is going to lead to some wellness issues, physical wellness issues, whether it's, with some of those, anxiety, stress. So anytime your body starts talking to you, start thinking about, okay, what's going on, not just in my brain, my one brain, but my other two brains. Because the goal is for overall optimization in three brains, which means that we want that communication with our three brains. And how do we maximize them? We maximize them through, a holistic approach, for example, with good nutrients and keeping them in balance through some holistic approaches. So the overall optimization is that wellness continuum. Research has even shown that people with heart problems are at a higher risk for developing mental wellness problems and vice versa. And those problems are going to lead to problems. But what if optimization could lead to optimization? What if cardiovascular deficiencies could be improved, and in doing so, improve mental wellness? What if the improvement could be made to how the heart functions, and in doing so, improve how the brain functions? Clinical science has shown that this can be done, and it can improve our mental fitness and so much more within our mental wellness. Now, this is a quick slide of the gut, heart, brain axis. Again, I'm not going to go into detail because we've discussed that earlier on, but again, to kind of give you more of a visual of that communication between the gut, heart. Now, lastly, and in closing, improving again that whole mental wellness, which is our end goal. And mental wellness, we know, can be improved. Improvement to how your brain drives everything that you're doing across your entire life. So in review, what the axis has in regards to the three parts of it, it's our brain, gut, heart, the heart, brain axis, and the gut, mind, heart axis, 3 axes. So if the axes can be brought together, we will be at the cutting edge of what science tells us is the way to improve your mental wellness. And that's done through having the axis between our gut, mind, and our heart. So this is the next level of holistic wellness being taken place to perform maximum enhancement. So this comprehensive nutrition for all 3 brains brings in the axis of the gut, the mind, and the heart, the communication, the optimization of the gut, the mind, and the heart. That's going to do it for me for tonight's training. Thank you all for listening and for being here. And Terry, again, for giving me this platform. Everyone, have a good night. That's going to do it for me, Valerie Williams of Dimensional Talent Streams. Thank you and good night.
Now back to the show with the son in whom I'm well pleased. No, not River. It's Reagan.
That sucked compared to the British guy. Bring the British guy back. That was awful. I feel way less hyped for that. So did Valerie do that training for us specifically?
She did that with you in mind.
Is that what it was?
No, I really didn't. It had me in mind too.
No, she had you. I says, hey, I sort of listed out all the things that she needed to address with you, and she says, don't worry, Terry, I got you.
Said, I got
your back. I'll put a training together, and
I appreciate it.
We'll straighten him out. Don't worry about it.
That was a great training.
Boys, play nice, boys.
It was a great training. We have some questions here. You can go to terrywilson3.com/contact if you would like to send in your questions for the podcast that we can also ignore. I'm kidding. It was a joke.
She said play nice.
It was a joke. Obviously, we're taking your questions because we're about to ask them here. Question number 1. Will the new app be available in the Apple Store for iOS devices?
Yes. Sometime first next year, we will have it available where both Android and Apple will have the TW3 app, and members can access it. Now, of course, you can't buy it there. It'll be closed off, but once you become a member, you'll have access to then go over there and download it on your tablet.
It'll be like a unique URL code that they can go to.
Yeah. And so that, I'm telling you, and I've already playing with the sort of the beta version of it
on the phone,
and it is just absolutely bad to the bone. And Bobby talked about it a little bit last week. And Valerie, have you had a chance to play with it? I know you haven't had yours that long, but have you had any opportunity to play with the app yet?
Not yet. My plan is to get into that this week.
I got you. Yeah, I know it just dropped in your inbox last week or so it's been a short time. But this thing is just so cool. And like you said from the training last week, it just works. Everything just works so seamlessly. You're out of that WordPress. What did I say? Y'all are just laughing.
No. So I said it just works because that's kind of a meme on the internet. It was about a game that did not just work. But the funny thing is, this actually does.
This works.
See, you guys are using slogans and jargon that your old man here does not understand.
When I said it originally, I didn't expect you to pick it up and run with it.
Well, I will digress. Far be it from me.
Terry, we'll just say everything is under the hood.
Everything is under the hood.
All the moving parts are there. You don't have to worry about AWS anymore.
Yes.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go.
You don't have to go through all of that techno stuff that we had to do with the older system.
It's the Tesla of apps. It just works. It's so simplistic, so sleek.
Yeah, it really is. It's the Tesla of apps.
We'll go ahead and ask question number 2 here.
Moving right along.
See, I can do that, though, because I work the majority in support. And so the first time we have an issue with it, it's like, it just works, right? It's like you guys are kind of capping me here
ticket boy,
bit.
Come here.
Yeah. So I need you guys to chill out a little bit.
Well, you might be out of a job if you have all these tickets opening.
Well, that's what we're trying to wear. If we can get this thing to where it's just humming right along, we can say, hey, Reagan,
it's been fun.
It's been fun. No, I'm kidding.
Can I load my own list into your system to bulk email, text, and call?
Well, you can't on our app system and any of our native systems, but we do have third-party companies that we refer you to that you can do what's called cold marketing. All of our tools are made to either respond or be able to push out messages via text, email, or voicemail drop once it's an opted-in list from the internal system. And that protects you from all kinds of problems that could arise with the FCC, with all kinds of other things.
For all the people that don't know what all that mumbo jumbo means,
I apologize, please.
Yeah. Essentially, there's a DNC list that you have to scrub against because it's FCC regulation that the people that you're calling want to be called, essentially.
Right.
Or are okay with
or have not intentionally said, do not call me.
Right. So if you call somebody that's on, a do not call list, you can get in a lot of trouble for it. And so the way we kind of help mitigate that is we try and scrub it against it and make sure everybody's all clean, their hands are clean, that we're doing everything the way we're supposed to.
Yeah. Because, while one individual might not be a target, a large company or larger company like us who have multiple members that are sending out tons of data, we're a target if we do things the wrong way. And so we make sure our noses are clean and it's done the right way. And it protects you as well. And I can tell you in 13 years of doing this, we've never, ever had one problem. Yeah. Now, we do realize insurance agents and real estate agents and other sales professionals, they're coming with a book of business or a book of leads that they have acquired over the years. And so they're trying to figure out, well, how can I use your system and continue to call on this data list that I have accumulated over the years? We have some resources that we can show you, and then we can show you some techniques to get them opted in to the current system so that it can be then in your database here at TW3.
It's almost like there's training involved with our systems.
It's almost
TW3 training and systems. Fourth question here, last one. No, excuse me. Third question here. I apologize. How can I use your system to start and monetize a podcast?
Oh, well, yeah. Great question. And by the way, I'm going to be on Cliff's show, Cliff Ravenscraft's show this Wednesday. He called and wanted to do an interview. And
so don't listen this Wednesday.
Yeah, so don't listen. No. I'm telling you, if you're
every week.
If you're a fan of his, you can check out this week because it's just, no, I'm kidding. Cliff's going to be saying, what did you tell him? That's so funny. Yes, we have in our system something called our referral marketing partners. And you'll listen to my podcast, for instance, and you'll see these little breaks that we take, and you might hear me say, hey, go over and get a free audiobook at Audibles. Earners are learners and leaders are readers. If you want to go to the next level, then grow to the next level. And you do that by going to terrywilson3.com/free book. I've been saying that script for 10 years now.
Pretty catchy.
Pretty catchy. And so what does that do? Well, when they go over to that particular link, they're going to Audibles, which is a referral marketing partner of mine. Now, this isn't affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing means I sell you an audiobook from Amazon or Audibles or something else, and you get, are you the selling agent or you the referring agent, you get paid a commission for that sale. This isn't that. I'm telling you, just go try a service. Even if you don't buy anything, they're going to pay me. I get paid $22 now. Just for every person that goes over there, clicks on that link and says, I'll try it. They may become an Audible client. They may not, but either way, and you start having a few thousand people listen to your podcast and you have 2% of those respond, it becomes lucrative real quick. That's just one example of the tools that we have in the back office, showing you how to get set up with these companies, getting you credentialed with these companies. They don't take people just off the street. Because they don't want to.
There's an approval process.
There's an approval process because they don't want people out there just spamming people and then people complaining, not knowing about who's sending that email, text, or voicemail or whatever out. But all they hear is Audible. And so they're calling out, hey, why are you spamming me? And it gets them in trouble. And they don't want. So there's a vetting process, and that's part of our elite package. We're showing you how to set up these tools and how to use these tools in a smart way, so that you don't get pinched and so that you're acceptable as a marketer for these third-party companies.
If I was a car guy, what I'd be doing, if I wanted to do a podcast as well, I'd just be reviewing like cars that I thought, like new cars coming out that I think are interesting and stuff. I'd take it for a test drive, go over the podcast, talk about everything I like about the car. And at the very end, Just have a link to CarMax or Carvana that gets them in touch with an agent. That's $50 just to talk to somebody. Like, you're going to make $50 if somebody just calls, not if they buy the car.
Not if they buy the car. Just calling and talking to some of their inside people, you're getting $50 for it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are just some of the strategies we show you and how to do that. And it we were going, I know we're going to talk about this a little bit in segment 4, but it goes along with this. You know, we went to Atlanta this weekend just to take.
Thanks for the invite, guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You and Michael.
It's not like I was, free or anything. It's all good.
I wanted you to go. Dad was just like, we cannot let him go.
Yeah. He tells the truth. No, I'm kidding. That is not true. You hate baseball. I don't want to hear this. But anyway,
I like Teslas.
We're riding down there and we was talking about how I'm buying these mounts to they've got suction cups on them to put up in the Tesla ceiling that's glass.
Yeah.
And they're going to hold our microphones. And I've already got the power supplied for our Roadcaster here.
Nice.
So we can podcast literally from the Tesla.
That'd be pretty
and
cool.
we'll do a second podcast, or we're doing 5 now. We'll do another one. Podcasting.
What's one more?
What's one more?
This one's about pasta.
And all of our referral marketing links will be about cars and different things, and that's how we'll monetize.
And it'll be called Amateur Comedians in Cars.
Amateur Comedians in Cars that hate coffee.
Not that funny comedians. 5 out of 10 mid.
Exactly.
All right.
But that's just one of the ways if you can monetize.
Yeah. Last question here for real this time. Can I still get tickets to the conference?
Absolutely, you can. And they're over at terrywilson3.com. It's $150. And if you've got a partner you want to bring with you, a wife, spouse, friend, whatever, you can buy secondary tickets for $97. And we do have lunch packages for 2-day lunch packages for $35. So we got all of that.
That's not too bad. 2 days for $35. You're going to eat lunch and dinner, or just lunch?
Just 2 lunches.
2 lunches.
And then everybody's free to go where they want.
Still not too bad.
Well, that way you don't have to fight that downtown Greenville traffic to try to get out and then get back within an hour and all that.
Yeah.
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 And $12 for lunch, or $10, whatever it is. It's
$35 is $12.35, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. That's pretty good.
They're box lunches. I mean, we're not feeding you, Ruth's Chris or anything like that, but it's a good lunch.
You're
17 is the number. 17.
Thank you. Someone here took math. So anyway,
I made up a number, but sounded
You
confident.
said 10. I was like,
No. I said $12.35. I threw in cents in there just to make myself sound smarter.
you boys. Well, when we get back, we're going to have the smarter one with us speak more, and that's Miss Valerie. Coming up in segment 4 right after this, we'll ask her what she's doing, what's going on in her neck of the woods, and what she got going on in her radio show over at tw3radio.com when we get back right after this.
Salary is the drug they give you when they want you to forget about your dreams, because it's very easy to stay in that world where somebody is mitigating your risk. You just have to perform certain tasks, do them well for a third of your day, and they will feed you a salary.
Start building your dreams today at terrywilson3.com. Chapter 1. The 4 words that changed everything. Another day, another dollar. I just clocked in and was super excited. I finally felt like an adult. For the first time in my life, I was working for someone that wasn't a family member.
Hi, I'm Haven, and Terry Wilson's my dad. And the reason why I think I like this is it teaches me not only to earn money and work when I get older, how to earn it. It also teaches me how my dad used to live in the past, what he did, what was his first job, the reason why he came into this podcast speakers. So that's why I think I like his podcast and this audiobook.
Get the audio version of You Are Worth More at coachwithtw3.com. That's coachwithtw3.com. Get the first 2 chapters for free.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
We're going to start without him. I don't
That's
care.
right.
Valerie, if you felt like the break went a little longer than it should have, one of us, I'm not going to mention which one, needed to take a break.
We're going to put one of you in the corner, one of you guys in the corner.
I'm telling you. What are you going to do with us? Valerie,
separate the three of you.
Valerie's like, every time I come on this show, it's like babysitting a bunch of morons.
It doesn't get better.
It doesn't get better. It doesn't.
Hey, I'm sorry. Are you mad at me?
No, I'm not
Yes or
mad.
no?
Just put
Yes or no?
we're live right now, just so you know.
What's going on, guys? Just got back from a restroom break.
You didn't have to say why.
Yeah, I can. I just did.
Valerie, what would you tell a 17-year-old boy that's has a resting heart rate of what, 110?
123, give or take.
It's so not good.
Hey, man, you know what they say? That's not good.
We're going to make sure he doesn't have any caffeine.
Nah, I don't do caffeine, just Coke.
You were.
All right, well, enough of the enough of the foolishness. Come on,
enough of that tomfoolery, those skullduggery.
Right,
don't need it.
So segment 4.
Yes,
this is segment 4.
This is segment
I did mine
4.
yesterday. I was telling you about this. I did my resting heart rate yesterday. It just so happened, and I was very impressed because it's apparently good. I'm at 40. My resting heart rate is 40 BPM,
and that's like in the top what?
I think it is like top 10%.
That's pretty cool.
Which, you know, maybe it's a little bit off. It's totally possible. My Garmin's just off, but I've been wearing it every day. So maybe if it's true, I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
but it
you
was
should
funnier
be.
because we came in and Mom was like, "Yeah, River's resting heart rate's 120." And I'm like, "What? That's?"
I don't think it's that high.
I can show you a statistic. I'm an overachiever.
He measured it for one day, so he might have been working. You never know, but still, it's pretty funny.
I'm going to tell you to just not be so anxious. Just chill out. Just relax.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thanks, Dad.
I think you're just too uptight.
You're depressed? Just be happy.
Stop being sad.
Just stop being sad.
What do you think, Valerie? What does he need to do to get that heart rate down?
You're off the caffeine, and we're going to put you in a dark, quiet room all by yourself.
I think less electronics, less screen time.
I agree.
A higher rest time.
I think just running right now is probably best.
Yes.
Just jogging. I want to get more active.
Yeah, I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Nothing like the outdoors. Nothing like the great outdoors.
That's right.
Well, you like hiking and stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you just do more of that. You know, so. Well, Valerie, what you got coming up on your radio show this coming week?
What do I have? Well, I have been working on my guest list for the month of September, and I am all booked up with guests, and I'm just kind of flowing with it. I used to kind of, have guests on there like twice a week, and then I do a training, 2 weeks out of the month, but it's just getting to the point where, guests are coming in left and right through collaborations that I have. So I'm getting ready to have Bobby on, Lori, Chris Miller, Gary, and we're going to do a little panel discussion.
Nice.
That's awesome.
After the conference get together. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to have a one-on-one with Chris Miller. We're going to get in some more brain stuff. And then I'm going to flip the script and do some things with the other surprise from today's training. So some good stuff coming.
That's awesome. Awesome. Maybe you guys can get together and do like a review of the conference or something too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Kind of a little drive-by crash course in an hour of the conference.
Yeah. Well, this will be your...
2. Maybe.
Do what?
All of them are like, yeah, it's about a 2.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give Terry a...
Terry was there, so that was
2. Nah, It's going to be good. I tell you, that conference...
I'm really excited.
It is. It's just a fun time to see just great people.
Yeah.
I mean...
And me.
And Reagan. And Reagan, yeah.
That's definitely what I'm most excited about, is just meeting people that I've talked to through email and putting a face to the name.
Yeah. And it's fun to watch, the networking that goes on, because it's something cool about being able to sit down with, well, what are you doing here and how are you using your autoresponder, or what cold marketing are you using that's working right now, or well, Gary, what are you saying on the phone to these folks that gets them, all of that stuff. You lose that in Zoom calls and this medium and this form, and I'm thankful for it and grateful for it. But when you can come together knee to knee, face to face, and you just sort of get
that's that personal connection.
Yeah, it really is.
I think it's a team building thing too.
Yeah,
when you're around people, you're like, we're like a family. This business is like a family thing.
It really is. It really is. It's like a big family, and there's a core group of people that have come there every year that we've had the conference, and so
I've always thought of you guys like family.
Well,
River, you're like a brother to me.
Dude, you're like a brother to me, really. Yeah.
You people.
You're the brother I never had.
Yeah. You're the brother I never want.
Valerie, I can't wait till you come next Monday, because that will mean there's no room in here for the two shenanigans.
Oh, I'm so excited for next week. I just want to see everybody here and it not be us.
Yes.
You guys will be on the other side of the glass.
Some actual value being given. Be like, look at that. That's what we normally do, but they're doing like,
they're actually giving some value. Yeah.
I'm just making stupid jokes.
So we took the Tesla down to Atlanta this weekend, and it was fun. And I will tell you, the auto driving portion is fun but scary. It's a technology that there's a reason they call it beta. It's not fully.
I don't trust beta with $40,000 items personally, but.
Oh man, we were just going right along, and the thing's driving itself, and all of a sudden it just wants to stop.
Yeah,
it just. And I was like, oh, we can't stop for an interstate.
Yeah, I was driving on the way back, and we just had some like cool tunes playing, put it on autopilot. We're just laying back, and then on the off ramp, it detects something, and there's nobody by us, but it just slams on the brakes
like
in the middle of the interstate. And it's
so there's something that's triggering the sensor, and so
it's a little odd.
You were in downtown Atlanta?
No, this is about 20 miles north of Spaghetti Junction.
Okay,
on
so
the
you were
Buford area.
it was a little bit clear.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah,
I was about to say there's
no.
Pay
Listen,
me enough in downtown Atlanta to get.
Now I will tell you honestly, you would think that, but when it gets real congested, that's when I like the autopilot the best.
Really?
Yeah, because it's pacing with everybody.
Definitely.
And it's just you don't even have to hold this. You don't even have to touch the steering wheel every once in a while to tell it you're there. It will take over completely. And it makes driving in that kind of traffic so much less stressful.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Definitely.
Because it sort of handles all that for you. So you're still there, but you're not. You know how it is. You're 35 miles an hour because all the traffic and stuff.
Yeah.
At that much.
Well, they try and get to 60 with about 100 foot of space.
That's true. But that was fun, and that was the first game we were able to attend in 2 years, because last year no fans could come out, and this year has been so crazy because of the state of sales here at TW3. It has just been absolutely on fire, and I think the new app, and then the new financing option has just made this the cat's meow.
The doors for everybody.
It opens the door for everyone. It's possible that anyone can now get TW3, where before it was a little more difficult because of financial considerations. But now we've got that, and with this new app coming, I'm telling you, there's not anything on the market that's going to touch this thing. It's just so cool. So that's fun, and everyone that comes to the conference gets a beta version of it, and we're going to be teaching and training on it. So I can't encourage you guys enough. Not only are you going to get what you always get at the You Are Worth More conference, which is inspiration, information, and illustration of how to do things, but you're also that was alliterated. I planned that. That was alliterated, my friend. Thank you very much. Okay. A little homiletical training thrown on you right there.
That was a solid 9.
That's a solid 9. There you go. But not only are you going to get all that, but you're walking away with the beta version of the new app. So you're going to get a ton of stuff. So get over to TerryWilson3.com right now and get your tickets. Get down here to Greenville, or get up here to Greenville, wherever you're at, or come on over. Or
come around,
or wherever you're at geographically.
Stay where you are. I think
But come down here and meet with Valerie, meet with Gary, meet with Chris and Bobby and Lori, and then the Wilson boys and I will be over on the corner.
So sorry.
Just saying, well, we're just here to open the doors and stuff. But you got some great people here and some great information that's just going to be dropped left and right. So it's going to be a great time. So get out there. And next week, episode 481, you're going to have them all in here with us, dropping value bombs left and right. So it's going to be a fun time. And Valerie, are you ready to come in and have some Southern barbecue? Of course, you're from North Carolina. You're up there in the Carolina, so you're used to some of this Carolina barbecue, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm used to it by now. 8 years. I'm originally from up north, but been here for 8 years, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, now you're originally from Rhode Island?
Boston.
Yeah.
Boston.
Boston. Oh, all right.
Boston.
Ah, Boston. Let's see. We just came there a couple months back. A month ago, we were up in Boston, your mom and I.
I was not in Boston, so I have no idea.
Yeah, we ate at Wahlburgers. Have you ever been to Wahlburgers there by the...
No, where's that? Where part of Boston is that?
Well, it's right beside the Red Sox. Fenway.
Fenway, down in the Fenway.
Yeah. You know, what's the brothers that one of the brothers sung for New Kids on the Block, and then he's an actor. Wahlberg.
Oh yeah, Wahlberg. Yeah, Wahlberg.
They got a restaurant up there called Wahlburgers, and I'm telling you, it is off the chain.
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was so good. But I loved Boston, man.
I
What
loved
a cool...
him in Titanic. No,
it's not
the right person.
What is wrong with you?
I have heard the burgers are really good though.
Oh my word! But yeah, and see, we had went to Cheers, and then we went to. Had some.
Was it better than Philly cheesesteak? The Philly cheesesteaks in Philly?
I think so. I liked the culture. I liked the vibe. I liked everything.
I loved everything about Philly, but nobody else seemed to enjoy my.
I liked Philly.
Yeah, it was all right.
Philly was very mean.
Well, you know, it's got a reputation of brotherly love, and then you get up there and you're like,
it was lovely.
Who are you? Why are you here?
I think Gabby looked at somebody on the street, and they made sure she understood. You don't look me in the eye here, and I thought that was
you don't want to do that.
I thought that was. I was at home. I was like, oh, they don't want you to mess with each other. I love this.
These are my people.
Yeah, picture it the opposite way. How we are in here, the South with the Southern hospitality. Don't do that. Like it. You don't say hi. You don't look at anybody.
Leave me alone.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, everyone had F.O. tattooed to their forehead.
And it was beautiful.
Oh, my word. Well, Valerie, I can't wait to see you next week.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing everybody.
Oh, the gang's all going to be here.
The gang. We're getting the band back together. We're on a mission from God. That's right. All right, guys. We'll see you next week, episode 482. You better be here because it's going to be a fun time. We got a lot of great people going to be with us. Until next time, this is Terry with TerryWilson3.com.
Thank you for listening to our show today at TerryWilson3.com.
Get a free sample copy of the book You Are Worth More by going to TerryWilson3.com now.
If you would like more information on how we can take your money, your business, and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at TerryWilson3.com.